In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make 6 figures per year with just group sizes of 6 athletes in each group and working under 10 to 12 hours per week. We're going to go straight into my screen here. I'm going to break this down step by step. All right, so check this out. This is going to be all step by step. So if you want to take a screenshot of what I have here on this screen, this is going to help you out with the business model and the setup. And if you watch this video all the way through and you want some help implementing something like this into your business, right below this video, there's going to be a link there. You can click on it, and that's how you can get in touch with me and chat with me about your business. And we can see if this model can actually work for you. All right. So the first things first, with this model, it's all group training. So you're not offering one-on-one, you're not offering semi-private, it's group training. And ideally, this is for you if you have groups of 6. This can work if you have bigger groups, and it can also work if you have smaller groups. You can just adjust the pricing accordingly. All right, so the first thing is we have a set day, set time for group training. This means when someone signs up, they're not coming on a random day. They're not texting you the week of saying, hey, can we come at this time instead of this time? So it either works where there's just a pure set day, set time, and it's on an agreement, like Thursdays at 4 p.m. This is when you're training for the next 12 months type of thing. Or you can do something that's a little bit newer in this space where clients can just go and they can just book this session online without having to talk to you. Now, there's pros and cons to that model. I'm not going to go into that in this video right now, but ideally with this type of setup, your clients are committed and they have a set day and set time that's offered to them that they just show up to. So this way you don't have to talk to them every single week about showing up to the session. That's the first thing. The second is the structure of how you do this as far as how many athletes per group. So with this model that I'm showing you here, it's just 6 per group. And within different sports, if you do like 3-on-3, or 2v2v2, like there's a lot of different things you can do with a group of 6. Same with like 8 or 12. Again, that number is up to you. But with this model here, like a lot of coaches that I've talked to, they've told me like they don't really want to train groups of 12 or 20 at once, and they feel more comfortable giving more attention to less players or less athletes in one session. So this is why I have found that groups of 6, that is like a really good sweet spot for a lot of coaches that are good at coaching in a small group environment. And they want to still have that personalized feel in their sessions. Okay. So that's the size of this particular group.
Hey, what's up, coach? Thanks for watching my video today. If you're a private trainer, you're serious, you're committed, and you're coachable, and you want to grow your business to 6 figures or more per year, go right below in the first link of the description. Check out what I have there. I think it's going to really help you out.
Now, the way we have this set up is it's $200 per player per month. And I'll break down the pricing in a second as far as like where it came up with that number. But the way that we try to approach this is you're not selling this to where they show up once per week and it's $50 per session. That is not how you want to frame it with the parents. You want this to be done to where they prepay the $200 per month. They're on a contract, but the client is coming once per week. All right. And outside of that, you have accountability. You have real structure for the athlete when they're not actually with you, because they're only going to be with you once per week. And even if you're the best coach in the world, they're not going to just see massive improvement week to week if they only see you and then they don't do anything else the rest of the week. And I have been preaching this model literally since I started my YouTube channel. And go back and you can see since 2015, I've been talking about how, the best coaches in this industry, they all have accountability coaching. They have information that they give clients when they're not at their sessions. And this helps your athletes get better when they're not with you. All right. This way you have a complete program. You're not just selling sessions, because if parents look at the $200 and they're like, all right, well, it's, $50 per hour for group training for a group of 6, they might question that, but they don't question the investment when they look at what's actually being offered in your program, right? So that's where we want to start there. So total per month, if you have 6 in each group, all right, total per month, you're making $1,200 per month. And then you can take $1,200, divide that by 4 sessions, essentially, like if you did break it down per hour, making $300 per hour. If you're watching this video, that's probably a lot more money than you're probably earning right now per hour. And this just comes down to, having the right type of business setup. All right. So you can see there, it's one group making $1,200 per month. And then when we scale this out, it's, just 5 groups. That's 30 clients. You're making $6,000 per month. For most coaches in this industry, if they're able to make $6,000 per month before taxes, most can do this full time, depending on their current life situation. If you're married and your wife isn't working, or if she is working, or if you have kids, like there's a lot of different factors involved with finances. But most people that are in this industry, if you're making $6,000 per month, you can pretty much do this full time. Again, that's kind of it's going to come down to how you are with your finances, right? And when we scale this out to 10 groups, you're making $12,000 a month. All right. If you're making $12,000 per month and you're not able to do this full time, I don't know what to tell you if you're watching this video. And you can see here, you only need 30 clients to be at $6,000 a month, and to be at $12,000 per month, you just have 60 clients. And I say just 60 clients because, like, if you boil this down, you have 10 groups. You have 10 hours of sessions per week that you're offering. And if you look at the actual week, that's Monday through Friday, that's 2 hours per day. So you could be running a 6-figure business, just doing 2 hours of coaching per day with this model in place. That is not a lot of coaching, right? And, with my experience, I've talked to, probably over 10,000 coaches now in my career. Most coaches that are, have 60 to 100 clients are not anywhere near $12,000 per month. It's because their clients are very flaky, they're inconsistent, they're chasing down payments. With this model, you should not be chasing anyone's payment. And I'm going to go into that here in a second with like the best ways and the worst ways to do this. All right. So you can see the infrastructure of how this is set up though. Clients are showing up 1 day per week. You have value outside of that, like real tangible value that the clients can take advantage of. So you have an actual program that you're selling at $200 per month, set day, set time. Everyone is consistently showing up. You have, probably 5 days out of the week that you're running sessions. You could condense that to 3 days if you wanted, if you're going to stack multiple sessions per day or more than 2 sessions per day. And you'd want to have a payment system set up. Right. So this way you can actually collect money, not talk to parents about money after you initially sell your program. Now, I'm going to share now the worst ways to do this up to the best. And you can see this on my screen, but I'm going to break this down step by step, because sometimes when I say this to coaches, they get confused. I want this to be very clear to you. So the worst way to do this, it is by, speaking to a parent and letting them know that this is a month-to-month thing so they can cancel whenever they want. Now, if you have it set up that way, you're going to have a lot of fluctuation with your business. You're going to have, maybe the summer, a lot of clients are involved. And then when they get to the school year, they drop out. And you're going to have to constantly be replacing clients and getting new customers to join your program. And it's going to be like a roller coaster. And the reason why I don't like that model is because, let's say someone's on a month-to-month plan with you right now, and they paid 29 days ago, and they text you today. They're like, "Hey, we're not gonna keep training with you next month." Well, now you have to go turn off their payment, and you literally have a day to replace them, which means this coming month you're automatically making less money than you did last month. And it's really hard to run a stable, predictable business that way. I don't like that model, but that model is a lot better than what most coaches do in this space, which is Venmo, Cash App. That is a really inconsistent way to do it. But when I try to set this up, like if someone's just starting to go into like the membership model, to me, like the worst setup, it can work. It's long-term, not sustainable if you want to have like really locked in and committed clients. Then we move up to the second best option. And this is selling 3 or 6 month minimum commitments. And this has been my bread and butter for, since 2011, really. And this is how you can get your clients more committed, to where you only accept clients that are committed to a certain amount of time. And that way you can guarantee that the income is coming in over that period of time. So whether it be like 3-month minimum or 6-month minimum, and the goal is to retain that customer. And that's a huge problem a lot of coaches have in this industry is like, you're not really retaining customers. You can get new customers, but they're not sticking and staying in your program. So this is why, like, this is the second best option. I like this option for coaches that are maybe transitioning out of month to month with no commitments, or they're coming from the world of, you know, Venmo, Cash App, that sort of stuff. And the absolute best setup, this is what I transitioned my soccer training business into eventually. It took me a couple of years to actually do this. But this is selling 12-month commitments paid in full or on monthly contracts. And the way I did that was really simple. When I would talk to a parent that was interested, I would get them on a Zoom call. I would interview them. I would ask them questions about their child. I would make sure that they are actually a good fit for me before I even, you know, saw their kid in an eval session. And at the end of that call, I would get them to sign up for my eval session. So they would pay for that. And then from there, they would show up to the eval and I would evaluate and see, okay, is this player a good fit within group training with this group that they're in? And I would determine yes or no. If they weren't, then I would tell the parent literally there or on a call, you know, the next day that they're not a good fit. If they were a good fit, then at the end of my eval session, I would book another call with them. It would be on our calendar and we would have an enrollment call. And by this time, though, the parent already knew what the investment was because I explained everything in the first introduction call. And this way, like, you know, when they would come to the eval session, they were paying into something that they already knew what the full investment was. So it wasn't this like surprise. I wasn't waiting to tell them. I was telling them that on the first call. So when we get to the second call, for me, I'm just getting them signed up. I'm, you know, explaining to them that they're a good fit. This is, you know, how the program is set up, answering any sort of questions or concerns that they have, and then just getting them to sign up to where I was selling a $300 per month program. So mine was more expensive than what I'm showing here. Okay, so mine was $300 per month for 12 months, which over the course of the year, it's $3,600. Or they were paying $3,000 up front. So they would save $600 when they would pay the upfront fee. And I was always aiming for the upfront fee because I liked running my business to where I was selling these upfront types of offers. And if you do the math, you know, if you sell 33 upfront offers over the course of the year, you're making over $100,000, and that's cash in your pocket. That's not waiting per month to get paid. But if they chose the monthly option, they were on a contract, on a legit like commitment type of thing, to where I knew over the course of 12 months, like that money was coming in, and their son or daughter was going to be really committed. And this is the option that at the end of the day, I'm trying to push more of the coaches that I work with into this type of model. And the reason why is when you work with a client that's committed for 12 months, they're way easier to work with. When you work with someone who pays up front, it's going to be a little bit more likely they're going to show up to all of your sessions because they have more skin in the game. And when you have someone in your program for 12 months minimum, it gives you a lot of time to get to know that customer. It gives you a lot of time to get more referrals from them. It gives you a lot of time to actually have like real development with these kids that you're training. And you don't have to feel rushed, right? And so this is why I like this option the best. Okay. Now, if you look at this model that I have here and you're like, okay, I might be doing a lot of one-on-one training right now and I want to switch into group training, go below this video, click on the link in the description, reach out to me. I'm very good at helping someone who's coachable, someone who's really like hungry to learn, hungry to make changes, and hungry to have a better business. And at the end of the day, this model here, it gets you to work a lot less as far as like running training sessions, which I know that's a big issue for coaches that get really busy is, you know, you have a lot of clients, you have to work a lot of hours. And if you're going to make more money, you need to get more clients and work more hours. This model is set up different. It's where like each new client's coming into a group and you're selling, at the end of the day, you're selling a transformation to the parents. You're not selling lessons. You're not selling a package. All right. So if that interests you, go below. Love to chat with you and have a blessed day.
If you're ready to grow a consistent 6 figures per year private training business, head over to www.bennabers.com.